What's up, everyone? My name is Jeff, and today we're going to have some fun playing some Roaring Green. So Roaring Earth, I think, is a really interesting card that came out with Kamigawa that I haven't played yet. 2-mana enchantment. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+ encounter on target creature or vehicle you control. And then you can also use the channel ability X and 2 green to discard this and put X +1/+1 counters onto target land you control. It becomes a 0/0 green spirit creature token with haste, and it's still a land. So this kind of becomes a Lair, the Hydra, that we can have from hand, which is pretty powerful. It's about the same amount of mana to spend onto it, but it gets to stay a creature, which can be really powerful in the late game. You can do it at instant speed and have it be a blocker and then hit in, which can be a huge swing for us as well. And so I really like this card for a lot of different reasons. The main one being just putting counters onto our creatures and making us hit in bigger is a really good thing for mono green to be doing. And so I was wanting to go for just a lot of ways to, like, I was thinking about going like Gruul Landfall, which this would be super good with a Gruul Landfall deck as well. But I think I'm going to do that in the future, and I wanted to do a version of this because I've done a lot of Gruul stuff recently. I want to do just a mono green version, see how it would work out. Just Generous Visitors, Kami of Transience, and Kodama as our main stuff, and everything else being enchantments with a few extra things in here. Kodama, be able to put counters onto stuff anytime the land hits the battlefield means we can modify basically everything. Lots of our stuff will have trample whenever we have Kodama on the battlefield, which makes, hitting landfalls even better, making our stuff even bigger, which will outpace the Mythic Massacres in the format, which will let us, win against a lot of those decks. Being able to have the trample will be really awesome as well. And then with Kami of Transience, we should at least have the ability to rebuild after, well, I guess Farewells is still our big stuff, but the other decks that just have straight up board wipes, we should be able to at least rebuild and win through the mono green shenanigans that we typically got, right? We also have Toski here to have an indestructible creature on the battlefield, which is sweet. It's bad against the Mythic Massacres, but with all of our stuff potentially having trample, that is kind of the dream with Kodama, or just be able to go wide enough, big enough with our Roaring Earth, some removal with Master's Rebuke, Blizzard Brawls. Toski should be able to draw us plenty of cards. We needed some card draw in this deck for sure, and so Toski is probably the best way to do that with this kind of a deck that has a ton of creatures, has lots of trample, all the things. And then one Wrenn and Seven, because we are playing land focus, I wanted to make sure we had some ways to just play more lands. We have Azusa's Many Journeys in this deck as well, just as another enchantment creature. We have a full playset of Weaver Harmony. I wanted to see how powerful just having enchantment creatures on the battlefield would be with this effect, and just have it use it more as the Lord effect, and then be able to occasionally, get an extra counter onto something with Roaring Earth, or play an additional land on a turn. That's where I feel like Wrenn and Seven could be really powerful. Later game, we could just put tons and tons of lands on the battlefield. If we're a little bit stonewalled, get a little bit ahead on mana, that can make a Roaring Earth play even more powerful later on. And then, of course, Jugan Defensive Temple, which is a super powerful way for us to win. It gives us a flying creature in the late game, which is awesome. But then we also can just put a bunch of counters onto creatures and make sure we hit in. The biggest issue I don't have right now with this is I don't really have the hasty creature like Uvenwald Oddity in the 4-drop slot. I was trying to find a way to fit it in, but I wanted to try to keep my enchantments around the 20 mark. I even had to drop down to 19. We could probably play this deck just fine, have enough enchantments in this that we can consistently be running into them at around like 16. So maybe I could drop in Azusa's Many Journeys for like one Uvenwald Oddity or whatever, but I wanted this to play out and see how this version of the deck worked out first, and we'll talk about things and changes that we'd make to it at the end of the video. So you guys make sure you stick around for that. Let's go and dive into the gameplay. Let's see how this does for us, and wish me luck. Here we go. All right, pretty beautiful start here with Double Weaver. That gets all of our stuff up to like 3 or 4 toughness right away. So yeah, definitely keeping this, liking it louts. So we got kind of the stompy play with this hand. And that's where I wasn't totally sure, like the mono green stompy, you just have lots of stompy stuff. Like you play it by itself and it should work out fine. Where if they have removal for too many of our things, we get in trouble, things start hurting and whatnot. Really like that as well. All right, so yeah, we have some, we get to build up this board really aggressively. I'm wanting to keep this Weaver alive actually. So if they have removal for this Visitors, I mean, it's annoying. I would love it to stick around. I mean, they could probably still kill it even now. Swing in. Do they kill the Weaver of Harmony instead? Down to 18, pass turn. The other thing I like about this Fang of Shigeki is that with Kodama, as soon as we get a counter onto it and have it be modified, it has Death Touch and Trample, which Death Touch and Trample is an insane thing to have together. It is bonkers, my friends. So, we'll see how this goes. Tainted Adversary. Death Touching creature is annoying. We have our own, though. Kami of Transience is kind of a counter for what they're doing there. Because we can swing through and be fine with that. Let's go ahead and get Kami out first. Get out the Fang. I can buff up the Fang on this next turn. I want to find my Kodama. That is the biggest thing we really need for this deck is finding the Kodama. This will already become a 3/3. I want to be able to dodge targeted removal like this voltage surge and such stuff as well. I know I'm not really hitting it with this, but if they also have Meat Hook Massacres, I want to get this bigger. So yeah, let's go ahead and get it up there. Do I just go ahead and go for the trade right away? No, this is our enabler for Kodama. We do need to find lands just to get to this Wrenn and Seven. I am running only 22 lands in this deck. So this looks like it's the Anvil deck that just is playing Adversary as whenever they get up to higher mana. It's probably like 1 to 2 of with Tainted Adversary. Good against us at the moment, though. I don't like that. So they definitely will have Meat Hook Massacres. We are staying ahead with all the counters that we've got. Let's go another Generous Visitors. Let's go Weaver of Harmony. And so I want to be able to keep several things alive. This will become a 2/2. Let's go ahead and put 1 counter there, and let's get 1 counter there. Maybe I should have put the other counter on just other visitors, just to keep everything a little bit bigger. But now I might be able to swing in more aggressively. I'm gonna swing in like this. I'm gonna trade out, yeah, kill the Kami, that's fine. All right, so they have 4 mana next turn, which can kill 1 Weaver and Generous Visitors, which will also kill the Fang. And okay, so all we'll have left is the Generous Visitors. So Meat Hook Massacre on 2 is actually still brutal. I should have just buffed up some other stuff here instead, I guess. Whatever. Cracks Blood Token. Do they have the Meat Hook Massacre? They never don't have it, right? Like, I've never played up against this deck and they don't have it in the opening hand. There it is. Yeah, that destroys so much of our stuff. I mean, it is really annoying. Like, I swear I've not played against that deck yet, and they didn't always have it. Oh, that feels awkward without any other plays. Getting this to be a 4/4, is that actually worthwhile? If they have another one next turn where it's pretty brutal for us, getting the life is okay, but I think I just want the threat at the moment. And being able to buff both these guys on the next turn gives us a ton of damage. They have to have Death Touch removal soon. Oh boy, okay, at least they don't have anything to sacrifice yet, but I'm sure there's something in hand. Although if it's an Anvil, they can't play both. All right, they can kill Kami. All right, right. Reed. Warlock class, okay. I like that card for this deck. A little bit terrifying. All right, go Visitors. They've gained so much life with that Meat Hook Massacre. I really don't like this card. I might have overcommitted to our board a bit, but I think more so I should have just committed to a couple of creatures to make sure that they were actually getting in for a bit more. There's Voltage Surge and another one. They didn't sacrifice the Synthesizer to do that? It seems like that's gotta be an accident. Look three deep, and they can find another way to do 2 more points of damage. So I think that was just a misclick. Oops, accidentally hit the control button. It's out of Red Saurus Harvester. All right, so another Kami. I mean, that dies to the Blood Ties Harvester. I'm okay getting these to the graveyard. If they're going to spend their cards doing that, it's kind of okay with me. Down to, yeah, hit in. Down to 7. Fast turn. I also played that out because I didn't want them to chump block. This deck is pretty good at getting out blockers and such. Smelta. Gets rid of the Synthesizer. Gets a free card. Yep. Another Harvester. That is a good play. Good job, you finding all of the things every time. Proud of you. All right, we need a good top deck. Like a really good top deck here. A Kodama would be amazing. A Roaring Earth. I mean, we want that on turn 2. Now it would be a pretty bad top deck, actually. We could create a forest, but it'd only be a 2/2, and we have to tap down to even make it happen. Yeah, oh yeah, they got the other blood tokens, so Generous Visitors gonzoed. All right, Wrenn and Seven is decent, though. We're gonna make a big old buddy. It's a 5/5. They would be willing to trade off with the Harvester. But just getting rid of a blocker is not the worst for us, especially because if they can't exile our graveyard in any way, then bringing back 2 Kamis every once in a while is pretty swell. I do need to keep Wrenn and Seven protected as well, though. This lets us block pretty aggressively. If we lose the Azusa, then both Kamis come back if I block with this as well. These guys don't have trample, do they? Okay, good. So yeah, they can go all out to kill Wrenn and Seven here, which might be worthwhile for them. Infernal Grasp. Now they don't even have to go all out. They just, you know, just do it. Sacrifices a blood token. So they're already in combat. Do they swing all 3 at Wrenn? Swings it at our face? Whoa, now. All right, so we block and block. They do have Meek Massacre, so they're gaining life, dealing damage to us anyway. This is annoying, but that's also why we can't have them just getting away with it. I won't let you get away with this. Down to 10. Ouch, so much damage. Yep, and they get another point of damage there. This deck really annoys me. It's so good all of the time. Milling does actually hurt us a little bit, just because we know this is going to be a lot of enchantments that are going to the graveyard. Well, okay, or just all of the lands. That's also cool. Lair of the Hydra, Generous Visitors. Showing them our entire hand, doesn't matter. If they find another Meek Massacre, we're in tons of trouble. But just having 2 more blockers for these artifacts that keep coming through. Anytime enchantment goes to graveyard, we get back to Kamis. I like these guys as blockers, but if we can pressure the life total, that would be awesome as well. So yeah, we're really hoping they just stop drawing amazing cards at some point. You know, it's got to happen eventually. They have Den of the Bugbear, but that means they won't have enough mana for the Smelter unless they drew a land. That would be very, very aggressive play for them, but could also be very painful. Dude, we built our deck around 2 cards. Kodama and Roaring Earth. I love how I could never find the 2 cards that I build a deck around. It's like all the other stuff. Like, these are all good cards that fit with those things. I only have 3 Kamis, but 4 of the other ones. I mean, it's fine. It's really not that big of a deal, but it would be nice, you know? We definitely just block here. I'm fine taking the 1. It still has 3 points of damage to us, actually. We're going down to 6 with the Meek Massacre. What's the other side? I can get more plays, I guess. I have no clue what to be doing here. Goes in with the Smelter. Interesting. So this is 4 points of damage to us. This leaves them with the Den of the Bugbear on the next turn to make even a token, which tokens are bad for us. Although I'm definitely willing to trade off here. They wanted to get in for any points of damage they could so they could win through all of these things. It's another Smelter, but no artifacts for now. Down to 5. Den of the Bugbear next turn. And we drew flippin' nothing. Come on. Seriously? We had 3 out of the top 4 cards. Or sorry, 4 out of the top 5 cards were lands there. That is not what our deck should ever be doing with 22 lands. I can make a 7/7 and lose Wrenn. I think I've got to do that because odds are now that there is something good on the top of our deck, and so losing that right now, I'd rather have the 7/7, which keeps us alive barely, probably, especially because we do have Lair of the Hydra still. So yeah, past turn. Could have swung in with Lair of the Hydra to try to be a bit more aggressive, try to stay alive with just this, but. Yeah, we'll see. No artifacts except for itself, so they might create that as a blocker. They can actually sacrifice the anvil here. Goes for nothing. Okay. Okay, okay. All right, so as long as we have a decent blocker, I can hit in with Lair of the Hydra as well, perhaps. What the crap, Doug? Oh my goodness. All of the lands. All right, so how can they win here? If they have Den of the Bugbear and the Anvil going at the same time, I need them to block with the Smelter. Because if they don't, Den of the Bugbear gets in, and then they can kill us with Colt as well. So we're just dead. I don't know if there's a way that we can really survive this. We're gonna hope that they miss it. We're gonna pass turn. We have another land anyway. Man, we really did fight. Like Azusa was the best card there because we would have been able to get the extra land on the battlefield. This would become a 9/9. We would get closer to be able to killing them with just one of these guys, and then the gaining 3 on the next turn would give us a really good shot. But now that was just, we drew lands for like 4 turns in a row. We just can't win doing that, guys. Jack, what were you thinking? All I wanted was a Kodama. Do they sacrifice the Anvil and then go for Den of the Bugbear? That is the right play here. That kills us. They don't do it. They're going to be big chickens. We do have the backswing always available. What the? Come on! Oh my goodness. So we can hit 8 here. I mean, let's just hope they keep not knowing what to do with anything. But like, that's the game. Like, I can't do anything without action. I mean, I have all the lands. Only 22 lands in our deck. Let's check out MTG Assistant. Yeah, less than 30% chance to find a land every time. But oh boy, will we keep doing that. Yeah, and that's game. That is definitely game, right? Like, just the Mihik Master here is what kills us. Oh, I am so angry. So angry right now. Yeah, it gets another dude. Now if anything dies, now they have 2 points of damage just with the Onical Anvil. When we block 2 creatures and they die, it's also game. So yeah, it's just game. I'm hoping that they don't go for it here and we somehow find a Kodama and a way to give trample and whatever else. They didn't do it again. They are just like, I don't care about lethal. Who needs that? Okay, the worst card we could find at this top deck here. I'm done. Like they had lethal the last 4 turns in a row, and so we're just gonna be done here. All right, up against Rocked, and not really the hand we're looking for, but Master's Rebuke with Fangs are pretty decent. We have removal. We have the ability to slow the game down, but like we don't get the aggro play that we're really looking for. I don't think that's worth mulliganing for here. Like, if we knew what we were up against, there are some decks I would definitely mulligan this hand against. But there's others that this could be a very powerful hand to just slow them down. So, you know, we'll do the slow down game plan. Swing them in. Get out Shigeki. Last turn. So reveal the top 4 cards of the library, put a land card among them onto the battlefield tap, rest into the graveyard. That does put a lot of things in the graveyard. All right, so it's gone anyway. It don't matter none. Shigeki. So this is a red burn deck. This is one of the decks that this hand can be better against, although we're not able to pressure early game. So we need to find some really big good things later on.
A fancy dress means I didn't come here to fight.
So I get 1 more red mana. I'm hoping I can... Okay, so I can kill her with Lair of the Hydra, which is fine. I'm only drawing lands today. Dude, what is up with this deck right now? Stop that. So X2. All attack at Chandra. So they got 1 point of damage out of their turn 3 play. I'm okay with that. We, of course, didn't do anything that turn. Storm Sika. All right, come on, deck. Let's get a play. It's going to be like Generous Visitors now. That's not terrible. Only modified creatures get value from this, though, which is a bit awkward. Kodama. This is a dang good card. I like Hall of Oracles. We should be playing that more often. So I want to be holding off on that, perhaps. Last turn. Yeah, let's see what else we can hit. A Raiju is the thing I really want to kill. Oh, Calamity Bearer. Let's see if they try to give that haste here. It makes sense that they would. So then we kill it. Take that, fool. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, we have only found lands this entire game. I think we just go all out swinging, right? Like if they have another Calamity Bear, that's pretty terrifying, but we can hit in hard right now. So, X4, is it? Yeah, I believe it's 4. Yeah, all in. Since we got nothing else going for us, let's try to get it to where these guys can kill them sooner than later. I mean, the lower life total gets, the better our 1/1s get. Of course, when we don't play stuff, Nightbound happens. Huzzah. Oh, that's so bad for us. All right, let's see what they end up doing here. Our Fangs, as long as their life total is low enough, the Fang of Shigeki can probably be getting in for 2 points of damage for the next few turns. We can hold up. Ooh. Wow, that's so much damage. That's almost lethal, isn't it? But we have lethal in the backswing, so they can't go all out. So they put on the Calamity Bear, they swing with just Calamity Bear. That's 10 points of damage. Yeah, that's so much damage. It's ridiculous. This probably has like lizard blades in it too to try to go off with that. Okay, what the... How is this even possible that we're drawing this many lands? And this is 2 games in a row that we're only finding lands. So this does give it trample. And it'll do double. So if a giant source would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent player instead. I believe that it will deal the damage to, like, it'll deal 3 damage to Kodama and then 2 damage to me, but then it'll double those. So it should deal 6 to Kodama, 4 to me. Only one thing to be tramply. Thinking. I believe I can force them to have this die, which does help with not have them, giving them to not have a chance to have trample. So X5 now. So that's lethal. They have to block something, and they're going to block the Lair of the Hydra so that it doesn't get their life total as low. So then Kodama, as long as they don't have another Storm Chase charge slasher, we can block and hopefully win on the next turn, right? So swinging like that. I mean, removal is bad, but any one of these guys kills the slasher. So they have to have removal and a way to give trample. No, they have lethal even if they just have removal. Uh-oh. But that was the only way we could force the issue. So, I mean, 5 cards in hand. Clearly, they're not going to have removal in this hand. Or just, like, 2 Royal Eruptions to kill us. You know, none of that's going to happen. Yeah, if they kill Kodama, they win. We drew so many lands. At least one of them was Lair of the Hydra that helped a little bit, but dude, only 3 lands in our opening hand. We drew 8 lands. Good game. Oh my goodness. Up against Hood. And yeah, pretty good hand. We have the visitors, lots of power on this one. On the draw, a little bit less good. Oh no, legendary land. Boy howdy. Although, enchantments and artifacts are likely when they play Boros and green. Yep. Blizzard Brawl. So I could go Fang of Shigeki, Blizzard Brawl there. I don't have a second source here anyway. Snow Source is what I'm trying to say. I definitely don't want to ramp him up right now. That does what Jukai does for them anyway, basically. Fang and kill it is not terrible. Let's just go Weaver. Counter here. Offer the trade. Down to 18 past turn. Wow, that is an early showdown. Yeah, probably should have killed this as soon as possible. Although if I kill it now, we're in okay shape, kinda. So Kodama's pretty sweet for the next turn. Boseiju. Yeah, I mean, we still just do it this way though. Let's go Weaver of Harmony. This gives us a ton of power. Counter onto Visitor. They gain life. We hit in for 6. Opponent says good game, good game. If they want to scoop early, I'm all for that. Do it, my friend. I believe in you. Jukai. Got another one. Yay. What an announcement. Counter onto Jukai. Cool, cool, cool. Another Weaver of Harmony is actually pretty sweet. All right, so I definitely want to get Kodama out on the battlefield here. So it's definitely just Fang. I want to get another guy to be modified. What's the other play here? I could just use the Boseiju to kill the Naturalist. Get out Fang, hit in for a ton of damage. And then Kodama gives trample on the next turn and wins. That's a very likely play. It stops him from gaining life. We get in for a ton of damage here. Yeah, let's try that out. They get an extra land here. It comes in untapped, which is ridiculous. I don't know why this lets it come in untapped. It's way too good. So we want counters onto these guys. The fellas. Swing in. I mean, honestly, just Weaver of Harmony is pretty powerful too. Down to 4. They have to find life gain. We just got rid of 2 good ways for them to be gaining life. But they will definitely have a Rune of Sustenance, potentially. Or a Champion. Those are 2 very likely cards for them to have. Another Showdown to dig for it. Whoa! They had no plays. All they had was just all of the Showdown. So, I mean, that's definitely dead. Okay, they get another land, so they can play out a Rune of Sustenance still. Spirit Companion, 2 cards. Fine. Still dead with Kodama or Weaver. I think Weaver's actually probably the better play here. Yeah, so, yeah, we'll go Visitors, good game. Weaver. So yeah, everything deals 4 points of damage. So yeah, good game. Didn't get the Kodama play, but I mean, that was also the side of just like, that's why we're playing 4 copies of Weaver of Harmonies, because it's really good when you have, you know, lots of enchantment creatures. I like it. All right, guys, here's the question. 4 games in, can I find the card that I built the deck around? I'm not sure. This happens to me so often. I'm not sure I can keep this hand even. I like Blizzard Brawl with 3 mana. I like Kodama here as well. We do have ways to put counters onto things. Even on turn 4 would be amazing to get with Kodama, get some lands. So I'm just hoping we got something going for us here. Double Kodama is a little bit awkward, but it is a big part of the deck, and we want to make sure we're playing it out. So, top decking Roaring Earth on turn 2 is the best possible play that we can have. It would be amazing. We would get this Generous Visitors to be a massive creature. It'd be so good. It would be the best play we could potentially ever have. Come on, deck. Hey, up against Mono White. Mono White is not fun. No, Roaring Earth. It's not there. All right, pass turn. Blah, blah, blah. We're never going to find the things that we need. Eva. And there's Luminarch Aspirant. Yeah, mono white. Net draw. Cool, cool, cool. Huzzah. Oh, we find the tap land for this turn. Yay. Oh boy. That's what I've always wanted. Can I even play out the Kodama here? I mean, I can... I played out as a 3/3 and it does block Luminarch Aspirant. It just gets exiled. I can Blizzard Brawl and kill Luminarch Aspirant this turn just to get it off the battlefield. It stops them with tons of power for the next turn. It does nothing for us. I should have played... Well, I couldn't play out the Lair of the Hydra though because we needed to play the third one. Dude, I have been drawing so poorly with this deck right now. Like, we have so many good draws every time, and we just keep drawing the lands, but not the right ones ever at the right time. Oy, 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 oy. Not fun stuff, guys. Adeline. Yeah, all the tokens in the world. There's a flippin' Roaring Earth. Toski is a pretty powerful play for us. Dude, you're 2 turns too late, my friend. All right, make it a 3/3. No attacks, pass turn. This flippin' Adeline is perfect counter for this. Yeah, and there's Brutal Cathar as well. Huzzah. Oh boy, oh boy. Down to 3. Yeah, all sorts of game over. Toski, go. Yeah, we're done. I played the land first, but it didn't matter because that was just, man, those draws. Up against purple stuffs, and this has a lot of potential to be an amazing hand. Watch us draw all of our lands the last 10 games. Okay, the last 4 games we played, but never find our third land now when we are on the draw and have a good chance of finding it. Of course, we have Shigeki to help us out there, so we're going to play that out turn 2 just to make sure we can find lands. But even then, just you wait and see. All right, I'm complaining too much. It worked out. It was all fine. Don't worry about it, guys. Generous visitors go. Fading Hope. Let's see it. Oh, you silly person. How do you always have it? All right, Mono Blue Temple. This is a deck I've not seen a whole lot of, and I'm actually excited about it. Makes me all giddy inside. Ooh, another Lair of the Hydra. All right. Generous visitors. Fang of Shigeki. Counter onto you. All right, so the question is, do I want to try to get more counters onto things before I play the Kodama? We can go out with Jugan next turn, which gives us ramp. We can play Shigeki and Kodama on the same turn and hit in hard. And I think that's what I want to do. Spell Pierce is a possibility, though. This gets Spell Pierce, these two do not. If they have a Fading Hope, it's a little bit annoying, but they can also Fading Hope this guy. I think I definitely do want to try for the Jugan here. They've got to have Spell Pierces, though, right? That is the scary part. The nice thing here is I at least get a counter onto another dude. And I will swing in with Shigeki. Definitely fine trading off with this fella. Down to 18. Last turn. All right, so next turn, we have manas. Got them for days, folks. All right, all in on the Spirit. That means they must not have too much in hand. They've hit a land drop every time, so there's a chance there's at least one land in hand. I feel like Fading Hope would have come already, but I could be wrong. All right, so you two be awesome. But I just want the extra lands for more plays next turn. That makes Flare of the Hydra even better. So I definitely want Kodama. Autopay, yeah. So it looks like they have Fading Hope in hand. They can bounce the Kodama. Opponent saying good game. I think we overrun the board right now, right? So we go Generous Visitors. We go Shigeki. This does mean we're not getting as many lands, but it also just means that we're buffing up even more onto our other guys. So yeah, counters. I actually should have put the other counter onto Fang. I want them to bounce this because then we get more action out of the visitors. Yeah, it bounces the visitor. Oh, just taps it. Oh, that's fine. All right, we get a free land, though. Roaring Earth. Where's our Roaring Earth? I found it one time at the worst moment. All right, so we got a Shigeki as well to play out. Counters onto more things. More damages is a beautiful thing. Lots of damage. Yeah, it's game over, though, right? Down to 8. This flips over, so we have something. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is so good. All right, so counter there. Yeah, okay. And then it would be a 7/7 that we have over there to be blocking with. And pretty swell stuff. I like it. We found a Roaring Earth with Kamis, which is pretty flippin' awesome. Makes these guys big, oh big. We have Snakeskin Veil as well. Life is pretty swell, guys. Let's see if we can actually make this work, though. I would like to get out both Kamis first, if possible, but... That's intriguing. Without Kami. Fast turn. So, mono white is pretty terrifying for us, just the amount of exile that they have, but Snakeskin Veil can be a huge swing in the early game. So I kind of want to prioritize that. All right, blue-white changes things even more. If they have a disruption, I want to be able to have the land out to be able to play this first. So this is a bit awkward. I'm going to try to get the value out of this first. Ugh. All right, we're going for what we came to do. Roaring Earth, counter onto Kami. If they bounce this right now, it's such a blowout for us. We lose out on all of the damage we could ever have. Play out the land, counter onto Kami. I'm going to hold on to the Snakeskin Veil for now. Swing in until after damage, then I'll play out the visitors. So just flashes it out. Doesn't phase anything out. All right, so this is Spirits now, which does change a lot of things. They probably will have Fading Hopes. That's Trample. I don't know. Are they really debating on blocking here? Okay. Marcus, what you doing? Is there really something to be debating on here? All right, there we go. He decided, you know what? No. All right, here's the real question. Is Snakeskin Veil worth it? We have Generous Visitors, which can be somewhat powerful, but just keeping this on board for an extra turn is big. I can play out an extra Kami on the next turn. Although if we get Toski on the battlefield next turn, oh boy. So yeah, we're going to play it out. Yeah, Toski for the next turn would be huge, especially if I get the counter onto visitors with the land. Borrow time. All right, takes care of the Kami. So Snakeskin Veil would have been awesome. Bummer. Land for Toski, though, is so beautiful. Counter onto you, Toski. Already used up a borrow time. I'm not holding on to the Snakeskin Veil, but card draw. Master's Rebuke, not too shabby. We do need to find a Boseiju to get rid of that. I think that's our only answer for that. So it's really not a priority, but whatevs. Okay, so we do have Snakeskin Veil online. So get our indestructible guy to be bigger. Has to attack every turn, so might as well make him awesome. Right now, we can play everything, which is nice. All right, so brings out the Spectral Adversary. They didn't pay anything. But they are now, okay. All right, so we Snakeskin Veil. And then we also Master's Rebuke. So we can guarantee get in for the extra damage. Play out another Kami as well. Actually, I should have waited to draw cards here. Oh well. We know we don't have any more protection. Just the card draws is still pretty swell. All right, and with their deck, they have that board wipe now, right? Dream Shackle Geist. All right, that is not great. Doesn't untap. Okay. Counter onto, yeah, we're gonna go all in on our trampoly dude. Jugan. All right, so we need this guy to be able to have to be double blocked. So I think it's both counters there. And then Kami can come back with other stuff anyway. So yeah, both counters there. Swing in. If they want to double block visitors, I'm fine with that. We still get a draw out of this. Opponent scoops it up. All right. That is the power of Roaring Earth. We finally got to see it. Finally got to see it. That is so good. I mean, the best play is visitors turn 1, Roaring Earth turn 2, and then like a Kami or whatever else the next turns. And we drew a little bit funky there, but still, we got to actually see the power of the Roaring Earth. And let's talk about how we would change up the deck here in the wrap up. All right, guys, so there we have it. We were 50% with this deck, but the games that we lost, you guys saw how I drew with those ones. So I'm not going to say this is a fully 50% win-loss deck. I think that it's not, you know, in the top tier, but I think it could maybe be up like 52% or something like that. Maybe a little bit higher with 100 games under its belt. The power level is there. I really like Kodama. I really like Roaring Earth. Roaring Earth, man, if you have it, if you go Generous Visitors into Roaring Earth, into, you know, Kodama, dude, what busted plays you can have. And so those will happen every once in a while. That never happened for us for 6 games. Which is, you know, that's also how things happen with Magic as well. You draw different versions of the deck. We got to see a lot of the other versions of the deck, and the other versions of the deck still got us 50% win rate, which means that whenever we go off with Visitors, Roaring Earth, Kodama, I really feel like that is a very, very difficult thing to win against. There is just, you know, if they have a bunch of targeted removal in the early game, that's bad. That's a way to stop that game plan. But then we have a bunch of other things in the deck that can help that out as well, you know? So I still think this deck is really powerful. I like Toski, how it played with it on that last game. We finally got to see that draw some extra cards, which was huge. Yeah, just in general, I think that this deck has a lot of potential. As far as how to improve upon it to make it even better, I'm not so sure. I really like being able to have the trample effect with this. I think in the format, there are so many blockers that just going big isn't enough. You have to go big and tramply, which is where I think that it could be interesting to go into red as well and go like, again, I've been playing a lot of this Curse deck, or Curse of Hospitality. I think I've only showed 2 videos of it, but I've actually been playing this more and more just because I really like how this card plays out. And it doesn't need to be a full 4 of to play with it, but I think there is maybe just the same kind of deck with Roaring Earth into a Gruul deck, and it might just be even better, you know. And I don't think you even change that much. I just think that you maybe change it like Fang for the Kumano or whatever. Although Fang of Shigeki was sweet here too. That's the thing, is a lot of the red cards I'd like to bring into this, I'm not sure were much better, but bring in Curse of Hospitality just for guaranteed trample damage for your stuff is just, oh, it's such a huge deal, especially if you're playing things like Wrenn that make big beefy dudes. Being able to do that, and then if we are ramping up, which Curse of Hospitality lets us play lands from their, you know, whatever thing we get from their stuff, we can play their lands too, which helps out with Azusa's mini journeys. Playing like Augur, I showed you guys another version of that before with Curse of Hospitality with I think Jund or something like that, and it was insane. It's such a good card. I'm a huge fan of this card, and so I want to be seeing how we can play more of it with Visitors and Kami in the decks as well. It adds to where it's just an enchantment to grow these guys up. They're able to hit in to get in for trample, get some more value out of it. So like, honestly, it works really well with a lot of these kinds of decks. A lot of things they're doing here anyway. Being able to play the extra lands with Azusa is huge. Yeah, so I'm a big fan. I think it's fun. As far as like, is it going to be competitive to do something like that? I'm not so sure. Is it worth going into a little bit of red for everything? I mean, maybe. We'll see. Maybe there's another version to make this work. But anyway, that is the deck, guys. Yeah, I'm not sure if I would change too much. Roaring Earth, I would love to have on turn 2. And that's why we have 4 copies, is so we can have it on turn 2. But can we also potentially have that with 2 copies of this and have, you know, Visitors, Roaring Earth into Kodama, but then also have an extra copy of Kami, maybe some more Blizzard Brawl, Snakeskin Veils, whatever else to help protect us even more. I like Jugan a lot with the deck, just to be a little bit more consistent with removal, more consistent with protection. Yeah, that would probably be better, honestly. And so that's where I'm debating if I actually want the full playset of this. The thing I like about this card is that it is actually a really good top deck, really late game. This is the hard part with it. It's really good early game. It's really good on turn 2, turn 3. It's really good on turn 7, turn 8, but it's bad on turn 4, turn 5, you know, whatever. If you, especially if you don't have a land, like you've played out all your lands, you're playing this out, no land to play. It's okay if you have visitors and Kami out to make sure that you're getting value out of at least playing in another enchantment, you know. But that's the biggest issue, and so that's where I would say maybe bring this down to a 3 of or 2 of. I was trying to play a full playset so we would find it, but of course that's not going to happen whenever I do videos. So anyway, that's that, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one, and bye.